So Guillermo del Toro, he calls Mary Shelley's Frankenstein his Bible. I mean, this is a project he's been dreaming about for decades, and now it's finally here. And let me tell you, this is not just another monster movie. He's not just remaking it. He's trying to resurrect its very soul. So let's dive in and really break down how he's pulling this off.
And this quote, this is everything. You know Del Toro's entire approach? It's all built on this one core idea. This isn't a story about science gone wrong. It's a deeply emotional story that asks us to look at the creature and see, well, see us. The parts of ourselves we're terrified to even look at.
Okay, so this is the huge misunderstanding that Del Toro is going right after. For what, 200 years? We've gotten this image of a big, green, grunting thing with bolts in its neck. But if you go back to Mary Shelley's novel, The Creature, he was brilliant. He was eloquent, philosophical. I mean, deeply, deeply self-aware. So Del Toro's whole mission here is to close that gap, to bring back that tragic, intelligent soul that's been lost for so long.
All right, Section 1, a monster misunderstood. So how does he do it? Well, first off, he's throwing out the horror playbook. This isn't a horror movie in the way you might think. It's a gothic romance, a really heartbreaking story. We're talking about an emotional resurrection of characters we thought we knew.
And here's the thing. Del Toro isn't trying to give us a page-by-page remake of the book. What he's after is the novel's soul, its heart. So all the changes he makes, they all point back to Shelley's original themes. Things like forgiveness, understanding, and that raw pain of being an outcast.
You can see this philosophy right in the design of the creature. It's so deliberate. He's actively steering away from the classic Boris Karloff monster. He's even moving away from the yellow skin that Shelley described in the book. Why? To create something, well, sadder, more melancholic. That bluish skin, the scars, the long hair, it all adds up to this kind of romantic, haunted figure. It's about capturing the feeling of the book, not just the look.
All right, next up, the father's sin, reimagining Victor. And folks, this is one of the biggest changes in the whole movie. Del Toro basically rips up Victor Frankenstein's backstory and starts over. And by doing that, he changes the entire meaning of the story.
Okay, so in the book, Victor has this perfect, happy childhood. His motivation is just pure ego, scientific pride. But in the film, totally different. He's the son of an abusive father, he's carrying this deep trauma from his mother's death, so his obsession isn't about playing God anymore, it's about shame. It's about this desperate need to undo death, something his own father couldn't do. And just like that, the story changes from a warning about ambition into this heartbreaking tragedy about pain being passed down from father to son.
And what does that lead to? This. The film sets up this absolutely devastating parallel. You see, Victor, who was the victim of his dad's abuse, ends up doing the exact same thing to his own creation, his son. It's like the violence he experienced is the only tool he has. It's the only way he knows how to be a father. And it just shatters the creature's spirit just like his was shattered.
This is so important because it completely changes why Victor rejects the creature. In the book, it's simple. He's horrified by how the creature looks. He just runs away. But in Del Toro's version, Victor is actually warm at first. He calls him son. The rejection, it happens later. It comes from frustration, from a lack of patience. So it's not about looks at all. It's about Victor's own brokenness, his complete inability to be the kind of father he himself never had.
Okay, let's switch gears. Section 3, a creature reborn, a soul in search of humanity. So while we're questioning Victor's humanity, Del Toro is busy restoring the creatures. He's bringing back that intelligent, deep-thinking character from Shelley's novel that, let's be honest, most movies just completely ignore. Just listen to these words from the creature in the novel. Believe me, Frankenstein, I was benevolent. My soul glowed with love and humanity. This right here proves it. The sympathetic creature we see in the movie, that's not Del Toro making things up. That's him going right back to the source material. Shelley's creature was born good. His soul literally glowed with love, and it was the world's cruelty and neglect that twisted him. To really hammer this point home, Del Toro actually cleans up the creature's record a bit. See, in the book, the creature is, well, he's more ruthless. He straight up murders Victor's little brother and then frames an innocent woman for it. But in the film, any killing he does is either an accident or self-defense. He's not this calculating, vengeful killer. He's just a deeply wounded person who desperately wants a connection. And this leads to a really interesting shift in symbolism. In the novel, the creature often compares himself to Satan from Paradise Lost, the fallen angel cast out by God, his creator. But Del Toro, he frames him more like a Christ-like figure, a sacrifice. The slab he's brought to life on is literally shaped like a crucifix. It's all about emphasizing his innocence and his suffering. He's not a devil, he's a martyr for his father's sins.
All right, our next section, Love and Tragedy Reimagined, the role of Elizabeth. And wow, if you thought the other changes were big, get ready for this one. This might be the most radical change in the whole film. Del Toro completely reinvents Elizabeth. She's not just Victor's passive fiancée anymore. She becomes a central, driving force in the story.
Just look at the difference here. It's night and day. In the novel, Elizabeth is basically a pawn. She's murdered by the creature on her wedding night, a pure act of revenge against Victor. But in this film, Elizabeth is an independent scientist herself. She actually meets the creature and she's kind to him. And the craziest part? She dies protecting the creature from Victor. It's a total flip. She becomes the moral compass of the entire film.
So their bond isn't some simple romantic subplot. It's much deeper. It's about empathy. She considers herself odd because of her scientific interests. And when she looks at the creature, she sees a kindred spirit, another soul that's hated just for being different. She's the one who gives him the understanding that his own creator refused him. She sees his humanity when literally no one else can.
Okay, final section. An ending of forgiveness. So you take all these changes, Victor's trauma, the creature's innocence, Elizabeth's empathy, and what do you get? You get a climax that completely throws out the novel's dark, revenge-fueled ending and forges a brand new path.
Here's another big change that really streamlines the story. The whole Bride of Frankenstein thing, it's gone. In the book, Victor agrees to make a female companion, but then he destroys her in a panic. In the movie, he doesn't even get that far. He just scoffs at the idea, cruelly mocking the creature's request. What does this do? It slams the door on any hope for the creature, and it forces all the attention right back where Del Toro wants it, on the broken relationship between a father and his son.
And all of this leads to the biggest thematic shift of all. In the novel's final confrontation, Victor dies full of rage, still wanting the creature dead. But in Del Toro's version, Victor has this incredible moment of clarity. He finally sees his own failure. He calls the creature his son, and he asks for forgiveness.
This, of course, completely changes the creature's fate. In the book, he's left with nothing but despair. He regrets everything and vows to die. But in the film, something amazing happens. By forgiving his creator, he finds a reason to keep living. He breaks that terrible cycle of pain, and for the very first time, he walks into the sunlight. Del Toro gives us hope instead of despair.
And in the end, Del Toro himself basically tells us what his film is all about. He believes that by changing the plot points, he's actually being more faithful to the spirit of the novel. He's taken the story beyond a simple science gone wrong warning and turned it into something more profound, a story about the human spirit and our incredible capacity for both deep cruelty and, thankfully, deep compassion.
So, that's what we're left with. The adaptation really forces us to confront that classic question, but in a new light. Who is the real monster here? Is it the being made of dead parts who just wants a friend? Or is it the brilliant man, so blinded by his own trauma that he completely forgot how to be human?